In the animal kingdom, there are predators and there are prey. It's easy to think that the bigger animal with the sharpest teeth or the fastest claws will always end up coming out on top. But over the years, some species have adapted their own defense and offense mechanisms so ingenious they're almost downright unbelievable. Sometimes a creature no larger than your pet can measure up to an apex predator in a way you never would have thought, or possess an actual immunity from absolutely anything thrown at it. Today we're going to talk about the most impressive, surprising, shocking, and scary real-life superpowers nature has to offer. The secret to immortal life may finally be revealed. The immortal jellyfish, or Turritopsis dohrnii, often refuses to die. Instead, when stressed, threatened, or physically assaulted, this creature disobeys the law of everything lives and everything dies by simply reverting back to its earliest stage in life as a polyp, ready to start anew in a potentially infinite cycle. It is no surprise that being able to live its life in reverse, the jellyfish is also known colloquially as the Benjamin Button jellyfish. And what a curious case it is indeed. German marine biology student Christian Sommer observed the first specimen as refusing to die, a peculiar action for which he could offer no earthly explanation. Since Sommer's discovery, it has been discovered not only in the Mediterranean Sea, but also off the coasts of Spain, Japan, and even Florida. Move over, chameleons. The world's most impressive disguiser is found underwater, and it's the cuttlefish. This is because the cuttlefish can not only change its color, but also its texture, pattern, and shape to blend in almost seamlessly with any background it comes across, either to protect itself from predators until the coast is clear, or to wait for prey to cross its path. Their adaptive camouflage can render them invisible to the untrained eye of a human or an unsuspecting meal, such as mollusks, fish, and even other cuttlefish. Despite this incredible talent, the cuttlefish only lives for an average of 1 to 2 years. Their predators are not only limited to those in the ocean. Many recipes involving squid can be substituted for it. So in Europe and Asia, one of the largest threats to cuttlefish is man. With nicknames like Space Bear, Water Bear, and Moss Piglet, we wouldn't blame you if you were already interested in the tardigrade. The tardigrade boasts an impressive list of extraordinary powers, all of which make it pretty much invincible. It can survive temperatures over 300 degrees and under minus 450 degrees, as well as exposure to radiation 1,000 times the lethal dose for a human, boiling in alcohol, and freezing solid in a block of ice. At -4 degrees Fahrenheit, it can survive for a recorded 30 years. Even after this, the tardigrade can endure pressure over 6 times that experienced at the bottom of Challenger Deep, the deepest part of the ocean, which is almost 7 miles underwater. Scientists even hypothesize that long after human life is gone from the Earth, the tardigrade will remain, even able to survive being sucked into the vacuum of outer space. The mantis shrimp is undoubtedly one of the fiercest, scariest, and well-equipped creatures on the seafloor. Not only is it able to see over 5 times the amount of colors as humans with its 16 color receptive cones, the mantis shrimp's punch accelerates at the velocity of a .22 caliber rifle, attacking its prey with 1,500 newtons of force. If the strike doesn't hit the target, the chance of survival still isn't high for the mantis shrimp's victim. With the fastest limb movement in the animal kingdom, water is boiled to a point so high that the collapsing bubbles caused by the mantis shrimp's attack will actually create light and produces a shockwave underwater, stunning and even piercing through the tough shell of a crab or oyster. Their own armor is so strong that researchers have seriously discussed the idea of using similar designs for the frames of cars and planes, body armor for combat troops, and athletic gear such as football helmets. Another tiny and deadly aquatic creature is the pistol shrimp. Unlike the mantis shrimp, the pistol shrimp grows to a maximum of 2 inches long, but don't let its size fool you. One of the pistol shrimp's claws functions similarly to a handgun, using bubbles instead of bullets, giving it its iconic name. The claw is cocked back and released with enough force that the bullet can be fired over 60 miles per hour. The pistol shrimp's attack, however, creates a deafening sound of 210 decibels, whereas the average gunshot only clocks in around 150. When the bubble bursts, the pistol shrimp's prey is stunned and unable to escape, with the entire attack happening within less than a second. Prey can only hope to be killed instantly, because it is then dragged back to the burrow for the pistol shrimp's dinner. With its claw growing way up to half its body size, this is one crawly critter not to be messed with. The froghopper takes the award for the most impressive jumper. While it can only grow between 1/4 and up to a little over ½ an inch in size, this superbug can escape a perceived predator at an astonishing speed of roughly 2.5 miles or 4 kilometers per second. That's 9,000 miles per hour, over twice as fast as the world's fastest gun. What's more, despite the froghopper only being able to jump 27 inches into the air, it does so with an acceleration of 400 g-forces. If this were adapted for an average human, the person would be able to jump high enough to land on top of the Woolworth Building, the tallest in the world in the early 20th century. A developing froghopper produces spittle on the stems or meeting of branches on plants to act as a fortress from predators when maturing. Perhaps the most effective defense mechanism in the animal kingdom is that of the striped polecat, also known as the zorilla. They're native to Africa and belong to the weasel family, although it looks like a skunk, and when compared to a skunk is far more superior. Everybody's heard the myth of bathing in tomato juice to remove the odor of a skunk spray, but if you're sprayed by a striped polecat, not even all the tomatoes in the world could save you. Not only does the spray have a terrible stench within a half-a-mile radius, the spray is toxic enough that you'll be temporarily blinded. One observer even claims that the pure smell of the zorilla spray was enough for it to hold its ground against 3 lions and survive. Although there are roughly 5,000 different species of songbird in the world, the most impressive is the Australian superb lyrebird. Not only does it sport beautiful tail plumage measuring at almost 30 inches, it's also recognized across the country as the reverse of the Australian 10-cent piece, and is an amazing singer. The superb lyrebird is renowned for its mimicry, both of other bird calls in the wild and more industrial and man-made sounds in captivity. Chook was a lyrebird born and raised in the Adelaide Zoo, and learned to accurately mimic the sounds of construction equipment such as saws and hammers through to car alarms. Made popular in the 6th episode of David Attenborough's Life of Birds, the superb lyrebird even gave an amazingly convincing imitation of the sounds of a camera shutter and motor drive. Another bird famed for its unique ability is the hummingbird, found only in the Western Hemisphere, and most commonly in North America. The hummingbird's main special power is perfect hovering by flapping their wings in a figure-8 pattern, up to 80 beats per second. Not only can the hummingbird hover, it's also able to fly left and right, up and down, forwards, backwards, and upside down. However, the downside of the hummingbird is the typically short lifespan. Many hummingbirds don't make it past their first year of life, especially during the first month when they are learning to fly and are most vulnerable to predators. If they survive their first year, the hummingbird has an average life expectancy of 3 to 5 years, with the longest recorded lifespan only at an estimated 12 years. During their short lives, though, some hummingbirds will pull off the amazing feat of migrating 500 miles in a non-stop flight. They might be tiny, but they've got a lot of power in those wings. What list of nature's superpowers could be complete without a supervillain? Meet Cordyceps, the fungus that zombifies insects and uses mind control to coax its host into suicide. One singular spore landing on an unfortunate insect is enough for the Cordyceps to take effect, where it branches out into any available space in the host's body. At the same time, the fungi consumes the still-living insect's nutrients from the inside, leaving the vital organs intact to ensure the insect doesn't die too soon. One type of Cordyceps specific to ants forces the ant to climb away from its nest colony and bite down onto a leaf, where it is unable to move, and over 4 to 10 days starves to death, for the fungi to spread more of its spores to coat any surface the spores encounter. Due to this, one spore of Cordyceps can wipe out entire colonies of ants, making this one of nature's most frightening superpowers.